Well, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Trapdoor Escape Stream's Puzzle Talk. I'm Tone, and I'm joined here by Frank at the moment. And there's Frank.
Hello, everyone.
Mike will still be joining us, but he's running a little behind in traffic, so we'll be getting him in probably right after our first topic. And you'll notice that we're sipping some of the featured wine from Puzzles and Corks this month. Actually, the featured bottle I'm representing here is one of our California wines, and McManus Family Vineyards, a Cabernet Sauvignon. So the whole month of May is actually going to be our California featured wines for Puzzles and Corks. So you can join us in person, or you could join us through the live stream, and check those out, and hopefully join us. So
that's actually a good transition for the membership topic.
The membership topic.
So how would you join us for a Puzzles and Corks? That's the next question.
Exactly. So we've been having a lot of feedback over the fact that apparently a lot of people are signing up for the membership, but they're not really figuring out how to click enable for the membership. So we've decided to screenshot literally like direct instructions. So what we have here is first, customers who want to subscribe as members will have to, and this is kind of the page you're going to see. So you'll notice that our next click here is bringing us to sign into the customer area and click on membership. So this is assuming you've already signed in as a customer. So if you go to trapdoorescapestream.com, you click the membership button, you would then be going through the customer area afterwards and click on membership. And that takes us over to, let's see here. Tick the enroll button. And then you're going to want to select the membership. Basically, at that point, you've selected the $11.99 a month membership, and you are officially a member of Trapdoor Escape Stream, and you'd be able to view things like Puzzles and Corks, the themes that are playing each month, as well as Cure Z, Boogeyman, F5, Witch Hunt. Really anything that we have available, you could also stream, and the new shows that'll be coming soon, like Puzzles and Kids and Find Us and I'm Being Haunted and all the fun stuff we've been talking about.
So say they're already a member, they've gone through the membership process. How do they then sign up to play an individual game? Like if they want to play Puzzles and Corks one day.
So essentially, all they would have to do at that point is they would go right into their membership and they'd select an experience. Make sure you're clicking on Trapdoor Escape Stream for those experiences so that this way they're free with your membership. And at that point, you would just select the one you're looking for, select the time, how many, obviously you'd be one viewer count, even if you have other people in the room with you.
Right.
So like taverns, bars, this is for you. Put that on the screen. You'll have people going nuts at the bar, and you collect the tab. So, great little exploitation there. And I'm pretty sure that kind of covers it. Frank, am I missing anything?
I don't think so. I think that the important thing is that once you sign up for the membership, you do have to sign up individually for the games. That they don't just run.
Right.
We need to see that there is someone signed up that is going to be watching that game for us to run the game. So it'll be free with your membership, but you have to sign up so that we know to stream it.
Right. Okay. So we have a lot of topics to cover today.
We have a lot on this beautiful spring day.
On this gorgeous 40-degree pouring rain spring day, we have quite the amount of things to cover. So let's dive right on in. So first on our list is, we did our premiere episode last week,
right?
And the topic covered was people farting in escape rooms. So I thought this was really hilariously ironic. That David and Lisa from RoomEscapeArtist.com posted a meme literally the following morning on farting in escape rooms.
Yeah. They've played way more escape rooms than probably almost anybody, if not just the most of anybody ever. So they've experienced this more than anyone else has, I'm sure.
Well, what
from
made
both ends
this
of it.
really hilarious to me was the fact that actually they're in Europe.
They're in Europe
They
now?
did not watch the opening episode of Puzzle Talk. And essentially, this was just timing. Like, just coincidental timing that we were thinking about people farting in escape rooms,
Right.
and so were they. So
something must have happened. In
yeah, there must be
escape
something
room.
going on where we've got some gassy players lately. So I just thought it was hilarious, and it had to get mentioned. And literally yesterday morning, their follow-up was a full-out blog post about basically like bathroom etiquette in escape rooms. Because apparently one of the things that they get asked to review a lot is the bathrooms at the escape rooms. And they don't because it's just so much added on, stuff to a review. And I agree with that. But yeah, bringing up the kind of point of like, are your bathrooms clean enough?
Yeah.
Our bathroom in Red Bank is perfectly great. The ones in the Poconos are fine, although I hate the color blue that they are. I want to repaint those. Morristown, we're under construction in the bathrooms, so they're currently a little bit of a under construction mess, but they'll be gorgeous when they're done.
But we're aware of it, and we're working to rectify that situation.
Yeah, the flood didn't help.
Yeah, floods don't help.
This wasn't a customer flood, although we had that too when someone flushed paper towels down our toilet.
Several times.
Which is like almost a monthly occurrence at this point.
But yeah, we actually had upstairs neighbors flood down from their AC unit.
Yeah.
And completely destroyed the walls in one of our bathrooms. So we're knocking those walls down, ripping out all the insulation and replacing everything, getting it good to go. So yeah. But I just thought it was, we had to mention the fact that just as we were, making that big point of people farting in escape rooms,
they did too. So yes, it happens a lot.
So one of our main topics we wanted to talk about today, anxiety attacks, claustrophobia, all those different elements of people playing in an escape room, and kind of what goes down as a result of those situations.
Right, and this is one of those topics that's it's always going to be a topic. So we would really appreciate some feedback on this, because this is something that is ongoing. People getting anxiety in escape rooms. I mean, by their nature, it's an anxious experience. You're racing against the clock. You're trying to solve puzzles. You're trying to get through the scenario. And so it is anxious in nature, but there are people that it can really unnerve.
Right. I think it goes right back into our discussion last week about, fallout of the Poland situation.
Right, that doesn't help, certainly.
But we were talking about people, kind of having that preconceived notion that they're locked in a small room.
Right. Yeah. Even if you tell people they're not locked in, they still are in an enclosed space, and that can
they
still
have to contend with the rest of the environment of the game to begin with too. So I mean,
right.
For like the witch hunt game, it's like it's dark, it's spooky.
Right.
You don't know what the hint system is like, and then the game masters have fun with it, and then shit hits the fan sometimes. It's the nature of the game itself, of Witch Hunt in particular, but of any really escape game that you're racing a clock, or any game that you're racing a clock, even word games and everything else that you're playing against other people. There's going to be a level of anxiety there. But yes, the enclosed space definitely helps people get claustrophobic.
Right.
And if they have to go through a small space, or go through a small space within a small space, as sometimes happens in our rooms, they say, "Oh, I'm claustrophobic. I can't do that." So it is good to see when people are afraid like that and they still do it anyway.
Right.
They're getting over that fear, or they're at least setting it aside for a little while to play the game, and that's partially what makes it fun and potentially therapeutic.
Yeah, potentially overcoming your claustrophobia.
I think the therapy is far and few between versus the outright panic attacks we've had.
Yeah, but if you get through that, you feel so much better about yourself if you make it through a panic attack and still follow through. We haven't had too many people actually bail.
I've had
There were 3 people leaving ambulances in Red Bank.
I'm talking about over all time. I mean, considering how many people we've had come through, we haven't had too many people bail the
But I mean,
older people, kids.
sure.
Yes.
There's a difference between just being genuinely anxious by what the game entails, and there's having a straight up panic attack because you just can't handle it. And those I've had. I had like a group of like 3 or 4 kids. I guess they were like 14, 15 playing Witch Hunt, and like played the hint system, and like the one kid just went into the corner and started hyperventilating, and went in there to see if they were all right, and they had to leave the game. I offered to turn the lights on in the game, and it's still just the game was just so unnerving to them that they couldn't finish playing it. So I let them hang out in the lobby, but like these kids were paralyzed by their anxiety. Maybe it's a larger personal problem, but I mean, we've had people leave the games in Red Bank via ambulance. That's not the game. That's like it's part of the game, but it's how people perceive these things. There's being scared, and then there's that like your body shutting down on you.
Right.
Right.
Well, I mean, that's one of the things that I do kind of pat myself on the back for often is, like my background with when I was in college was drafting. So, like with trapdoor games, I blueprint all the stuff out and figure out the layouts of the games really before we, get too far into the design process. And, like with Boogeyman, and now I see this a lot with Cure Z because it's such a large labyrinth, is that there's this concept of like once they're inside, they kind of lose their place, and they don't know what's around the next corner. Especially with QRZ, like they get in the travel agency and then they go through that corridor and around the corner, and people are just terrified to go around that corner. There's nothing around that corner, but like we kind of perfectly situated the music to transition, so you can't hear the music in that next zone until you're coming around. And, kind of theme park-esque. And beyond that, that built tension and atmosphere. People just get in their own heads. And I think that's actually a big part of them, hitting that panic button.
And even if there's nothing physically there, sound plays a huge role in that.
Especially Witch Hunt.
Especially Witch Hunt. You see kids, especially kids, doing this like all the time, just even when there's nothing happening.
I mean, we have...
just in anticipation of
You've
when
asked
something
this
else
before,
is
and I kind of want to ask the audience: is that a thing that we don't know about in school? Are kids being taught like?
Yeah, I see a lot of teenagers doing this all the time, and they all do it kind of the same way. And so, is this something that's taught? I have no idea. Is this something that for hypersensitive kids that they're teaching them to do? I don't know. So I would like to know if anyone in the crowd knows.
The equivalent of like, get under the desk, we're being bombed.
like something like I don't know.
Well, bad news, because hiding under the desk ain't gonna stop it.
Not anymore, but back when they did that in the 50s.
Yeah, my dad had to contend with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that's... but, comment below. Let us know if you've experienced, the situation. Because we do see so many kids. And it's only the kids. It's not adults.
Yeah, exactly.
That,
it's the kids.
Are like earmuffs. And I don't get it.
I mean, it's... So I want to know, is that a learned defense mechanism, or are kids just doing that naturally now?
Next topic. Frank, what do we got?
Well, again, following up with the Poland thing that we were talking about last week, there's been more closings. Another rash of closings with people violating the rules. The thing with this now, and what the article says specifically, it was specifically covering one place in Park Slope, but what the article is really trying to say is that the target is ever shifting. Governments and cities don't know exactly how to govern escape rooms yet. Don't know exactly how to zone them, don't know exactly what rules should be followed. And with a moving target like that, how are escape rooms supposed to stay open and stay safe? That's what I want to know going forward. So yeah, I mean, like we said, we've never locked anyone in. And there are the rules vary from city to city and state by state. So it's like in New York, it appears you can't lock people in either, but the building code keeps shifting. And what escape rooms are designated as keeps shifting. Nothing's quite like landed on where it's going to be yet. So it's got to be tough for places to stay open and stay safe.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, I didn't see the article. Did they say what the fire hazards were? Like, was it broken down? Or?
No, I think, see, that was well, of course the owner said, everything is safe and everything, but I think it was more building codes in this case, like, that they put up walls and it was kind of like labyrinthine that they couldn't, that they couldn't see a clear exit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
That's what it seemed like anyway. It wasn't about being locked in. It wasn't about smoke alarms.
It was just how they constructed.
It was like, yeah, but when they constructed it, but according to the article and according to the owner of the place, when they constructed it, everything was up to code.
Interesting.
But now, like, if the code shifted and then they come in, or it wasn't quite up to code, but maybe it was okay. And now they're coming down harder on it. Well, all of a sudden, the target changed.
To a lesser extent with us, it's like every time the police department or the fire department has come in here, because our building is connected to the bar next door to us. So when their alarm goes off, our alarm goes off. So the police department, the fire department have to come here to check it out to make sure to see whose side it was on.
Right.
But every time they come to our side, they try to nail us for something.
Well, that's like every year that we have an inspection. We haven't had this issue in our other locations, but Morristown's always the one where we have it.
Yeah.
Is literally there's something new that was never addressed in the past.
Sure. I mean, it was the strobes weren't going off one time here. But, like, the only way to find out that the strobes weren't working is to have the alarm go off.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So they nailed us for that. Some of our couch was covering our basement door.
Yeah, that was the big one, was move the door.
The fire department had been in our building multiple times across a year and a half, and the couch was always just slightly covering the door, but now it's a problem. So I don't know. I think they just
though it's a basement door.
Well, it wasn't even just move the couch, because they wanted, even though that basement, basically our basement door came up the stairs and then hooked a turn, and that's where the door was, and they decided that they required a straight shot.
Yeah.
So at the top of the steps had to be door directly in front as opposed to the left. That was why we ultimately had to move the door.
Yeah.
But it's like, really? I gotta move a door? This building's been here for like 30 years.
Yeah.
And they've been in the building multiple times, so I mean, what? I mean, safety first, obviously, but
And basement door. This has nothing to do with our players.
Yeah.
The players don't go down there. It's not an exit door.
Yeah. How much of this is just bureaucracy being bureaucracy, and how much of this is a genuine concern? Because it wasn't a concern for them a year and a half ago,
right?
And every time in between. Right. Why did it become a problem now? Unless they just wanted to nail us for wasting their time. But I don't know.
Well, but that's what I'm saying. It seems like bureaucracy is making it a shifting target, and they haven't landed on a solid set of rules yet.
Join us next time for your bureaucratic conspiracy theories.
Well, I mean, it's just us continuing coverage on the industry evolving and and how that's going. So
that's the other end of how it's evolving too, law wise.
So what's up next?
All right. Well, next we have the sexual harassment escape room that the Army is putting together.
What?
On the surface, that sounds like what? But what they're actually doing is they're creating an educational tool to train soldiers how to better deal with helping like one of their teammates through a sexual assault, or reporting a sexual assault and helping them cope with that, which is actually a really cool idea.
The execution seemed a little...
Yeah, the execution is a little, I don't know, but basically what they do is they chain one of their teammates to a chair, and they have to solve puzzles based on the training, what they call sharp training, which I have it down here somewhere. Yeah, sexual harassment, assault response, and prevention training, to unleash the chains free their teammate. And this is supposed to be metaphorical for how they're bonded into their, what happens when you're sexually assaulted and how they're stuck not being able to report it or whatever. It's supposed to create awareness for that. So a good cause, execution maybe a little sticky.
It felt a little to me almost like sexual assault interrogation.
Yeah.
Like the person's, from what I got from the article, is like the person's chained down and then basically like interrogated about their knowledge of sexual assault as if those are riddles.
Well, I don't think they're questioning the person in chains, but it sounds like they actually said riddles. I don't even think they said puzzles. They said riddles based on the shark training.
Right.
So I don't think they're questioning the person in chains, because that would really seem kind of messed up. Because that would seem like interrogating them, and it seems to be the opposite of what they're trying to do.
What did you say at the water cooler?
Yeah, I don't know about that, but
it sounds like some like really bizarre tough love support thing. But until I read the article, I don't really. I can't really comment.
It's kind of. I mean, they're trying. I mean, I guess
that's
one thing you can say. They're trying to help.
What they've started doing in elementary schools now for school shootings is having like live shooter drills, where they will have like. I'm not sure if they do like squibs or something like that, but they will have like selected victims that will get fake shot, and they do like the whole pretty much like filming an action scene almost. They will like shoot people that and they will die, and they have to deal with the help the kids like deal with the trauma of that, I guess.
So literally like traumatized role play.
Yeah, basically.
But the difference is that's kind of, I hate to say it, but that's kind of a real world situation, whereas
it is.
The metaphor of chaining someone to a chair might not necessarily
it is
work.
Sure. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. I mean, how much damage are you doing
to the kids?
Well,
to the kids
doing?
Yeah, so, I mean,
we could have a whole discussion about that.
You're helping them deal with the situation in a way that probably isn't the most proactive, nurturing way to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, you could just have. I mean, for military, why not just have this, transparent support system in place? You don't need to chain somebody to a chair and turn it into a game.
That's what they're trying to turn it into. They're trying to encourage them to be more transparent about it. That's their ultimate goal. That is their ultimate goal. But yeah, is this the best way to go about it? It remains to be seen. Right. But it's a good example of how you can use escape rooms for other things, or escape room scenarios for other things. Education, team building.
Sure.
It's there. Is this the best execution of it? That, I guess, remains to be seen, but it is an attempt.
If it's the first of its kind, you can always build on it. So
exactly.
Right. So keeping that lineup of topics, next up.
Well, the next we have a climate change escape room. So there's a College of Fine Arts in Texas is creating an escape room that basically puts players into the position of scientists that are trying to they're on an oceanic research platform and trying to get away from a storm that's coming in, from like a giant storm that I guess created as a result of climate change.
Right.
So again, we have a use of trying to educate people about a subject through the medium of escape rooms, and I think that's really cool. I think that's just a great way to do it.
But can you let Eric in?
Oh. But I mean, it's not from the article. The entire story is not quite fleshed out yet, but it sounds like this is a step in a good direction to try and teach people how to deal with climate change and how climate change works.
Especially how it works.
Yeah.
I think that's probably one of the biggest elements of that topic is that most people who talk about it actually, whether you believe that it's detrimental or not to the planet,
right,
most don't even know what it is.
Right. Yeah. It's not just global warming. That's part of it, but it's not just warming.
Right.
That's why it's mostly called climate change now, by people who know things about it, and not just global warming. I
actually saw an article about a way of artificially bringing back the ice caps. By pushing salt water up into the atmosphere to cool down the region and basically artificially rebuild them.
Unfortunately, that may be what we have to do one day.
Just to, because it's like, okay, you could say that, maybe it is just the course of action that the planet's going to change in certain ways, but those ways may be way too detrimental for our species to survive it. So, I kind of like staying around. So,
Yeah, it would be nice if our children could stick around.
And if escape rooms can shed a light on the subject, then so be it.
Yeah, so I do want to keep an eye on that one. As it develops. Like I said, they're kind of, it sounds like they're just in the beginning phases of it. But I do want to check in with that one at some point in the future when it's more fleshed out.
Universe Dreams, thank you for the subscription. I think we actually just lost 3 viewers with that topic. Well, let's see if we get people back with the next one, because this is really the fun one. The 1-star review that's been making headlines. So, I'll read this off. 1 star. This is, by the way, a little bit of context. This is not a review of Trapdoor, right. Although we've had our fair share of 1-star reviews, like everyone else in the industry has, and any industry.
And there's always a discussion of how do we respond to those.
Right.
Because you don't want to come across too mean, and you want to acknowledge what they're wrong about.
But yeah, this is the review that was left at a company on the other side of the country. Definitely never going back. Went there for my brother's birthday and were disappointed by our experience. We played the attic room, which I think was the most difficult room. At the beginning, there was just a bunch of rules on what we shouldn't do and stuff we shouldn't touch. If it's not a part of the game, then put something better than a dumb red stickers on it. The clues had nothing to do with the story, and there was no fun clues or riddles. The whole thing was just an endless series of finding codes or locks and looking for keys. When we finished the room, we met the owner, who was rude and didn't seem to know what he was talking about. I'm guessing he was just butthurt that we didn't like it. We will not be returning to this place. It was super disappointing. So, I actually read that more articulately than it was written. Because my brain just doesn't process to read that way. But, I mean, regardless of how it was written, let's just talk about the fact that he described an escape room.
Yeah. This is probably someone that had never played an escape room before.
Because it played like an escape room.
Yeah. This had to be their first escape room.
I would imagine so. Yeah. But, we were talking last week about, whether or not people actually read before they buy or have any idea what the hell they're even getting into. But what made this review kind of a little bit, I guess we should say, famous was the owner's response. And yes, we have that too.
We have it.
Okay. Response from the owner. We appreciate all feedback at so-and-so. So thank you for this somewhat shocking review. Like most escape rooms, we clearly mark items which are not part of the game. This was also stated to your group, including oral intros on the website, during registration, and on the signed waivers. He continues, naturally, it's impossible to exhaustively and comprehensively list every conceivable activity one should avoid. For example, we do not explicitly warn guests against attempts to set the building alight because most recognize the benefit in avoiding such acts. We actually do. We like to think the creativity of our puzzles will electrify guests, but unfortunately in this case, we were merely pleased our safety precautions ensured guests were not literally electrified. As you know, though you do not mention in your review, members of your group ripped wires out of props. Wires which were wire-tied, taped, and had markers on them indicating they should not be touched. A member of the group thus pulled the wires apart and thrust those bare wires into a live electrical outlet, also marked with warning stickers, damaging the prop and tripping a breaker.
Oh my god.
Wait till you hear his reasons.
When asked why they'd stick bare wires in an outlet, the response was, I know a lot about electricity.
Did our president play this game?
Mike, we just lost viewers due to the climate change talk.
I'm okay with that.
Several participants, though not all, were rude and indignant. Nevertheless, we offered and they accepted a refund. Even considering the time and effort it took to repair the damages, we would welcome you back. That's just stupid. As long as your group will follow our very few and simple guidelines. Discuss.
So, I mean, the thing I love about reviews, and the thing I love about people as a whole, is that they never take blame onto themselves for anything. So you get this review of a guy saying this game sucked because we had to play an escape room, and then you find out why exactly they thought it sucked, because they damaged like half the game.
Yeah.
It's I'm glad the owner posted that response back, because it really shows everyone likes to play the victim card, especially when they're at someone else's place of business. It's never your fault when you do something stupid at someone else's business. You smash a camera and it's the company's fault for sending you the wrong camera. And I've had to deal with that at my old customer service job, where people break stuff and then claim that it was our fault.
Right.
So pinpointing exactly what these players did, on behalf of the owner, was just brilliant. But
that's above and beyond.
He was far more forgiving than I think most people would be.
We wouldn't be. That person would be banned for life.
They would be banned for life, and we would have charged them for the damages.
Yeah, right. We would have kicked them out when that happened.
So I mean,
don't F the trap door, yo.
So I mean,
that's really risking a fire and
that was
permanent destruction of things.
Yeah, I mean, as the guy points out, I mean, like, someone could have died.
Yeah.
I mean, there's that level of responsibility where, like, if you saw these people playing with live wires and shoving them into live electrical outlets, I mean, and you kept them in the game, you run the risk of letting an accident happen.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's been plenty of times that we've seen a situation going in a direction like that, and we've halted.
Yeah, we put an end to it.
I mean, and the guy's reasoning, not even that he's an electrician, but he knows a lot about
electricity.
What does that even mean?
I mean,
apparently you don't know that much because you're sticking live wires into an outlet, so that's not good.
I've had to. I mean, I point this out when we do the F5 game, that all of the electronic devices in the game are there to make sure the game functions.
Right.
It's all there for functionality.
Right. Automating the tornado.
So if you come across, if you come across like a wall outlet, don't stick something into it because it's not part of the game.
Right.
Right.
Remember where you are and what you're trying to do.
Well, see, that's a big element that we deal with a lot versus theme parks. Is that it's a very similar situation of our experiences are built in real buildings. This isn't a movie set where you have the ability to not touch anything or see what the cameraman doesn't want you to see.
Yeah.
With us, we can't hide something in a shot because you have 360-degree peripheral vision. You can see everything in these rooms. There's only so much we can hide before the building is no longer operational and violates fire code.
Right. Yeah,
theme parks go through the exact same thing. There's outlets in all different places, and there's real emergency exit signs and all that stuff. The difference is you're riding past them.
Yeah.
You're not actually walking through it.
You have the opportunity to engage with it.
Right. It was like we had, before we had met Chris, our head of our engineering department, we had actually interviewed a former employee from Disney World that worked on the animatronics there. And when she came in and looked through like what we were looking to do in Freak Show, she was like, no. I was like, what do you mean no? And she's like, I don't want to touch this with a 10-foot pole because your players can touch the work. Versus at Disney World, they can't touch Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah.
So, except for the live actor in the costume, but totally different scenario.
It's a really just bizarre
and they were still using the old sticker system, which makes it even more clear, don't touch this.
Right. I mean, we killed the sticker system in year one because we thought it broke the immersion.
Which it does, but it does make it much clearer that, I mean, if there's a sticker on an outlet, our rules are there for a reason. They're for your safety as much as the game's safety. we're not trying to trick you with the rules.
Yeah, when we say don't take out the air conditioner, it means don't take out the air conditioner.
It doesn't mean, they told us not to touch it, so there must be something there. No,
God, that used to drive me insane
opposite.
in QRZ in Red Bank when it was there.
The temperature must mean something.
Yeah,
no,
the air conditioning unit in the window.
It's for your comfort. Don't take it out.
We're not trying to trick you. When we say don't pick up the candles in Witch Hunt, it's because we don't want you to pick up the candles in Witch Hunt. It's not because there's some secret under the candles.
Right.
We're not trying. That's not part of the game. The rules are not part of the game. The rules are there for your safety. They're there for the building safety. They should be obeyed.
Absolutely.
I find it really fascinating too that they had to sign waivers, and that's not something that we do. We put all those terms in
their ticket sale.
In the ticket sale, but like you physically have to sign something, so you have to read this docket of
no one reads
paper, but still, it's there.
Theoretically,
you give them this physical thing that they probably kind of sift through, but they probably don't read it in detail. But it's there. Like it's easy to ignore all of the back matter of an email. But when you give someone this document, they'll peruse through it, and something will catch their eye. So the fact that they had like 5 opportunities to read up what you can and cannot do in this escape room, and then one I like the electricity, and then almost
that's
had to kill
right
themselves.
in with when we have we had actually added through our ticket sales process that if you were to purchase your tickets, you have to check a ticker box, for 2 different topics. One is that you realize that Trapdoor is public ticketing, and unless you've privatized your experience, you could be booked with others. And that you may not arrive intoxicated to the experience. Now, the intoxication one, nobody asks about it, they just sneak it and hope you don't notice.
Yeah.
But the public ticketing one, how many times still people buy the tickets and then they call up and they're like, so we're not going to be grouped with others, are we?
Yeah, or they check the box off, and then when they find out that they're playing with other people, they complain. And that happened to Frank and I a couple weeks ago.
It's frequently, but
that was the first time I had seen it in a while. There was like a mom and 3 kids, and these this other family booked into it.
Yeah, that does especially happen when there's younger kids. They don't want them playing with creepy strangers.
But, understandable.
Sure. But again, it
then
is...
privatize the experience.
Right, it is right on our ticket buying page.
Right.
Yeah.
So, what do you guys think of this situation with this 1-star review? Have you as a player ever left a review that, like, maybe a month later you thought to yourself, maybe I should redact that review? We've seen that happen. We've had reviews get pulled from our pages that were really messed up reviews, and then my favorite, and I shouldn't condone this, but I absolutely get giddy when I see it, is when someone will leave a review shouting out really, really stupid stuff, and then other players of ours attack their review until they pull it. We really have never done any dirty tactics with reviewers. It's not like we're a certain game in Vegas that gives you merchandise for free if you leave a 5-star review. But we can't control our players attacking somebody.
Yeah.
Right.
So
when our players point out everything that they said wrong in their review.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to leave us a negative review, at least be like well spoken. Think it out a little bit, and be a little bit more thorough in why you don't like it, and just instead of just making something up and fabricating it. Because remember, we have security cameras in all of our games. We can pull that footage, and we can prove your review to be totally incorrect if need be.
Or my personal favorite, they didn't even play.
We got a bad review when they didn't play.
We've had that a few times.
Whoever you are.
Not only have we had reviews where they were reviewing the wrong escape room.
Yes, I remember that.
We've had people like by name call out game masters that we've never had that name employed at Trapdoor, and it's not even close to like one of our people's names. It's like, oh, Patrick really was a jerk in my game session. It's like,
who's Patrick?
Yeah, we don't have a Patty.
Never had a Patrick at Trapdoor in the history of the company, so I don't know where you're going with this. But and then they'll start calling out things about the game, and it's like, oh, you played 20 minutes away from us. You
Yeah.
didn't play here. Can you please remove the review?
Yeah.
And then they don't.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, that's so funny because
then people can't admit they're wrong.
I mean, how many people have called us being like, "Are you, so and so escape room?" I'm like, "No, that's like 2 towns over." Well, do you know their terms and conditions? No, because we're not.
Why would I?
Yeah, we got that.
Like I got that call the other day.
We got that the other day.
Called
Would
me
you know
asking
their
what
terms and conditions?
No.
Oh, you think that's bad?
What's their return policy? I don't know.
The Poconos location, at least 10 to 15 times a day, we get called asking if we're Resort X, and then can we provide information about Resort X? After they're told that we're not, and we're Trapdoor Escape Room, this is the Cure Z escape experience, they'll want to know, like, well, can you tell me a bit about their rooms? What's the accommodations like? Do you know when check-in is? It's like
TripAdvisor.com/ResortX. Pay attention.
That was one of the topics I wanted to discuss today, but we had so much stuff in here already. How people think we're all the same company. People think every escape room is the same company. Well, we'll probably cover that next week.
Episode 3.
Yeah. But that's part of that too. It's like, no, we don't know everybody else, and we're a different company. They don't have the same policies that we do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Comment below. Give us some insight of your own on that. We'd love to hear it. Nobody's really commenting today, but we have more viewers than we've ever had yet. So
that's the way it goes.
I guess we're just so profoundly discussing that they're enjoying it. So next up, an officially licensed Downton Abbey escape room.
That's interesting.
Never watched an episode of Downton Abbey in my life,
neither have I. But
I don't know how an escape room would.
At the moment, I wish that my wife Jess was watching this because she was an avid Downton Abbey watcher.
My mother was, yeah, and she dragged me to the display in the city of all the costumes and stuff. So that was interesting. But so that's the extent of my knowledge of that. But it is interesting, and what they've said in that article is they're take inspiration from the show by basing the room's mystery on the show's characters and recreating the Abbey itself as a location.
That's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool. If that, I mean, that, just imagine that with any other entertainment franchise you want to imagine.
Well, that's what Saw did in Vegas. They actually brought, because it's officially licensed by Lionsgate, they actually brought the set pieces to make the game.
That's great. That's super cool.
Yeah.
Like you said, I don't know how Downton Abbey would actually work with that, because it's not mysterious. It doesn't seem mysterious by its nature. But you're attempting to solve puzzles while making your way through the Abbey. That sounds pretty cool.
I think kind of like what we're going to touch on next, the Avengers escape room.
Right.
I have a feeling that it's going to be a better version, not knocking the Avengers, but
we'll get into that next.
But if they're actually bringing in the sets, then that's half that battle. And having it really where you're just kind of unlocking elements of the world of Downton Abbey. Downton Abbey, I believe, is no longer on the air, but there's a movie coming, from what I understand. So,
so it's a good promotion for that too. Yeah.
Right.
It's good to keep the world going.
Officially licensed games, is that going to be a big thing in the future? I think probably.
I hope so. I mean, that shows where we're going as an industry. We used to have video game tie-ins to every movie and stuff. And
before escape rooms were even a thing, I mean, we had meetings with Showtime Network.
Yes.
And we had actually worked on.
When ARGs were big in integrating them,
and
with,
we were live streaming already. We had meetings with the Showtime Network for the shows Dexter.
Yeah, that would.
And Homeland.
Yeah, Homeland like season 2 or something. Yeah.
Right, and and it was a really fun process. So I mean, it's kind of like then the pause button was hit. And then I think one of the problems we see with escape rooms, which maybe, again, another topic for episode 3, would be, ripping off licenses.
Right. That is a
because
that became a problem too.
That's been a massive thing over the last
especially Harry Potter.
2-3 years. Harry Potter, I think, it has
like
to be more than anything.
Yeah, there's been at least 5 of them that were not licensed.
Oh, I think we're way past 5.
And they're not subtle about it either.
No.
I mean,
they advertise it as a Harry Potter escape room, which is completely illegal.
I've seen some too where they just download like the Harry Potter font. And then, the Wizard Escape Room. And, like, you're not even trying to hide it. So, I mean, like, you can't act surprised when, Warner Brothers comes knocking on your door with a cease and desist.
Yeah.
But,
But, yeah, Harry Potter, Disney, like, these different properties, they're just, like, you can't just take them.
Yeah.
There's a very famous, escape room company that is 100% knocking off Warner Brothers licenses for DC.
Oh.
And, like they have very, let's just say, DC Comics Batman related content. And I'm shocked they haven't had the plug pulled yet.
Yeah.
It's, from what I understand, the storyline of the game really has, like, no connection. It's really their marketing.
It's really weird, too, because Warner Brothers has a tendency to really crack down.
Seems like when it comes to Harry Potter, but that's, like,
I mean, there was this this burger joint, I forget, like, it was, like, the logo looked like the Wonder Woman logo, and Warner Brothers went after them.
Well, from what I understand, Gotham in Red Bank was attacked because they had Batman memorabilia everywhere. They had menus
and they were
on
called Gotham.
Yeah, there were. There's plenty of places called Gotham. Jess and I go to the Gotham Comedy Club all the time.
That's different. But having the Gotham name and Batman memorabilia.
Yeah, and they have a massive Batwoman statue, and they had all different props.
They go after all these companies who like rip off the Superman logo.
Sure.
Like if we did like a trapdoor logo and like in style of Superman's S shield, Warner Brothers would come after us. So the fact that they haven't gone after this escape room yet is a little mind-boggling, unless there's some sort of technicality that they've managed to get through.
I genuinely think their technicality is the fact that like there's zero mention of Batman.
Right.
That's like as their crown jewel. It seems like that's the character that is always just, you touch him and they come after you.
Yeah.
But you touch any of the extracurricular characters. Although I would think Joker would be such a big character, but it seems like Warner Brothers is kind of just, other than the upcoming Joaquin Phoenix movie, giving up on Joker and they're just pushing Harley. So.
Well, I mean, the Joker, you can kind of make... There's criminal clowns. There's been criminal clowns for a long time,
right?
Besides the Joker, so it's tough to say which one is a ripoff and which one is just another.
And everyone's got their pennies in a bunch about it now. So Pennywise,
yeah.
So it's like no one really cares about the Joker right
now. The last main topic of the day is going to require actually you guys to hop in surrounding me because we're going to watch the Avengers play the Avengers Escape Room and commentate. Thought that might be kind of fun. So yeah, the Avengers Endgame Escape Room.
We might spoil Endgame.
We have, let's see, what do we have? We have Benedict Cumberbatch, looking like a meth head.
Yeah, he looks pretty sickly in this one. I have to say.
He's probably shaping up for a movie.
Probably.
We have,
are we supposed to say certain?
We'll find out in a moment. Who else do we have? We have, no, we're good. We're good.
Cool. Doctor Strange, Shuri, Falcon,
and
Winter Soldier, Bucky.
Yeah.
Bucky. I always forget half of these people's names.
What would his official superhero name be right
now? Everyone just calls him Bucky.
I guess so.
I think his name is Winter Soldier because the upcoming
it's called Falcon.
Streaming show is Falcon Winter Soldier.
Well, no one like calls him Winter Soldier. It's like if he gets kidnapped, Winter Soldier, no.
Yeah.
Let's call him Bucky.
So I guess to introduce this topic, I don't have 100% clarification on this, but what it seemed was that I got the impression this was on set.
I think it was in like their editing bay I'm thinking, like wherever they were editing the movie, maybe they came in for.
Got to turn the ringer off.
I turned it all the way down. Maybe they came in to like redub some lines, and they had this like temporary escape room set up that they had in play.
Yeah, they shoot in like a major, production facility. So I mean, they probably have it in like if it's on set, it's somewhere in like one of the big.
Have you seen this already?
I have not.
Okay, so apparently...
To me, it looks like they're editing...
One of the Russos is the game master, so I'm pretty sure this was set up by the production team.
Yeah.
And as something for them to do between takes. We're actually... I was talking about this on one of the escape room groups.
They don't look like they're between takes. They look like maybe they came back to do some redubbing or something.
Well, that could be too, but I mean, there was plenty of shots of them like on the full out destruction set, and they were all in street clothes.
Well, yes, but they all had their like the green jumpsuits and shit too.
Some.
Those were
very
few. I can't tell if Cumberbatch has a beard or
no, he
doesn't. An illusion
from
where he's positioned.
No,
anyway,
you'll see what he looks like.
Here we go.
Unless his beard was computer generated too.
I'm already not liking
wow.
this.
Oh,
yeah.
I got it. It's the clock.
Thanos sees all.
Some of the Avengers assembled. Here we go. Here's all the names.
Someone's locking us in. It's for real.
Odds are they don't get out in time.
Alter your mind, bend your reality. First, your mind must be in order. Must be in order.
Find the stones.
Find the stones. All right.
A lot of people were like, oh my god, we could have done so much more with this. Sure, I bet you could, but that's not...
You better check your drawers, Sebastian.
Sebastian, take your pants off, dude.
Wait a minute, like maybe this one. Yeah.
So this is soul.
We've got reality,
this
we've got
is
sanity.
reality. All right.
Reality
is the order?
stone, which is in.
Here, I've just found another one. There you go.
Damn, you're
What's
good,
that? What's this?
man.
Mine
You're
is
good.
first, and we need space.
Time is ticking.
Hello.
Oh, that's what I was gonna do.
Okay, seriously.
Yeah, one more.
Okay, call for help.
Well, hold on.
I mean,
Hold on. It's too much fun.
Power, space, soul.
That's the combination.
Yes.
Of course.
All right, what are the numbers?
3915. 3915.
3915.
Here.
No.
What's the address of your apartment? Strange.
You don't remember they shot that 3 years ago.
Is it 117? Bleecker Street, what number?
3915. This is what I do. Something came up.
Do not come.
Thanos sees all. Thanos sees all.
Yeah, Thanos sees all. When I clocked at the very beginning.
Here we go. Wait.
Wait, back up.
Oh, the laser, right here. This, right here.
Come on.
Let the movies be your guide.
Read this.
Read backwards.
All right. You don't yet have the time, so beware of all the tricks. But if you crack the code with 3...
3.
Are you just like hype man in my reading?
Shut up.
With 3.
Do we have to put the movies in order?
Mac, you're holding the decoder.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure it out, bro.
3629.
That has to be it.
Well, I don't
3629.
That's a tall order. I'm sure there's...
That was really dope.
You're not done yet.
What?
Come on.
It's weirder.
Are you serious?
It gets weirder.
Hands. There's a lot of hand stuff.
Hold on. That left hand.
It is all about hand. So we just turn
Yeah,
this
maybe
left.
turn it.
You ready?
Listen to the good doctor.
Turn yours right.
Turn the hands the way you see them in the poster. Have you found all the hands? There's one more hand. There.
Oh, yeah. Now open.
We open.
4829.
4829. 4829. Oh my God.
30 seconds.
The key. The key.
This way! Hurry up!
Hurry.
was impressive on my part.
Very stressful.
Mikey, you did a great job.
This way!
But I got us out, so I'm the winner.
I still appreciate you.
There's so many like America's ass jokes now. I think there's even a Funko Pop of like a Captain America donkey called America's ass.
That's really weird because in Doom Patrol they infiltrate like this giant prison thing called the Ant Farm, and they unleash these creatures that are like these carnivorous asses of people. That's just weird. Like you know, we have
Asses and donkeys, or
no, like actual
These
butts.
carnivorous asses.
Actual butts. And it's like Endgame comes out and you have like the America's ass thing, and then you have like these sentient ass creatures eating people in Doom Patrol. And Doom Patrol already did their version of Endgame as well. They had like this like people disintegrating because of this sentient god thing. So I mean, I wonder how intentional that was. If it was
probably
just,
it was probably pretty intentional from this how you make Doom Patrol sound. That was probably pretty intentional.
Well, that pretty much concludes everything we had to talk about on this episode. Any other last minute tidbits? Roll together?
No, I think it's pretty good. But we've already, we've already started discussions for next episode. We already have a few topics that you can look forward to talking about next week.
Yeah. So tune in for episode 3, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard, and make sure to subscribe so that you catch every new video. And if some of you noticed, we dissected last week's episodes into like 3 little minis, so that this way you could follow along with those. And subscribe and become a member.
Yeah, and we'd love to hear from you. We'd love to hear your opinions, comments, questions, whatever.
I'm Tone.
I'm Frank.
I'm Mike.
Catch you next week. Same time, same YouTube channel.